Hello and welcome back. There's something about this show that keeps pulling me back day after day, even when life gets busy. The characters feel like old friends, with all their flaws and triumphs, and right now, the whispers about the Cassadine family returning have me more excited than I've been in a long time. After everything we've been through with this show, it feels right that two members of the Cassadine clan are confirmed to be heading back to Port Charles this fall. I've always had a soft spot for that complicated family. They bring a mix of danger, elegance, and deep emotional layers that no other group on the canvas quite matches. Nicholas and Spencer coming home could change everything in the best possible way. For the longest time, we've watched Nicholas sit in prison, paying for his mistakes while the world moved on without him. It never sat right with me that a man like him, with all his history and unfinished business, would simply fade away. The idea of him receiving a pardon feels like justice, or at least a fresh start. I've always believed Nicholas had more to give, more redemption to chase. Remember how he and Britt once shared something real? They may have parted ways over little Ben, who turned out to be Rocco, but that connection still lingers in my memory. What if Nicholas returns and seeks out Britt and Rocco? Bringing that boy back to Lulu would be a beautiful full-circle moment, and Laura would finally have her grandsons around her again. It makes perfect sense to me, and I hope the writers see it that way too. Spencer has been gone far too long. We all mourned him in our own way, even though part of us suspected he might still be out there. The reports that Victor had been looking after him somewhere, keeping him hidden, add such an intriguing layer. Those blurry sightings only fueled the hope. Now, with Nicholas possibly heading out to find his son after his release, the stage is set for an emotional reunion that could heal old wounds. I've wondered many times why the show let Spencer drift away for so long. Was it to give Trina space to grow? Maybe, but the fans have been vocal about wanting Sprinta back together. Trina has tried to move forward, and Kai seems like a decent young man, but he's no Spencer. If Kai steps aside or faces his own troubles, it could open the door for that reunion we've all been craving. The chemistry between Spencer and Trina was special, the kind that made us root for them through every obstacle. One thing that has me particularly intrigued is how this all ties into the Cassadine legacy and the rising tensions around it. The family fortune, the secrets buried in Windermere, and the power struggles never truly end. With Sidwell now deeply involved and rumors swirling that he might actually be connected to the Cassadines himself, things are heating up in ways I didn't expect. Why did he buy Windermere if not for some deeper claim? It feels like a deliberate move to insert himself into the family narrative. I've always enjoyed these kinds of twists because they force everyone to question loyalties and bloodlines. Is Sidwell a long-lost relative, perhaps tied through some branch we haven't explored? If so, his presence could complicate Nicholas and Spencer's return tremendously. The adjustments to the story feel fresh and necessary, especially after the Faison revival plot started to wear thin for many of us longtime viewers. I have to say, bringing back these OG Cassadines makes perfect sense right now. The term fits because they represent the heart of that legacy, not just recent stand-ins. We've seen too many temporary faces lately, and it's refreshing to think of the original spirit returning. Nicholas, with his charm and darkness, and Spencer, with his youthful fire, could shake up Port Charles just when we need it. The timing, coinciding with the end of the Faison chapter, feels intentional and smart. Fans have grown tired of those resurrection stories, even if they brought back familiar faces like Britt and the twist with Nathan being Cassius. Those reveals were clever, I'll admit, but it's time for something new centered on the core families. What will Laura think when her boys come home? She's been through so much, losing and regaining family members over the decades. I can picture her joy mixed with worry, especially with all the Cassadine drama that follows them. And what about Ace? The little one has been part of her life, but having Spencer and Nicholas back changes the family dynamic entirely. These are the questions that keep me tuning in, wondering how the pieces will fit. Will there be forgiveness? Or will old grudges flare up again? I suspect a bit of both, because that's what makes General Hospital so compelling. The legacy of the Cassadines has always been about more than money or power. It's about survival, complicated love, and the pull of blood. Nicholas searching for Spencer while possibly reconnecting with Britt and Rocco could lead to some truly heartfelt scenes. I love when the show balances the big schemes with quiet, emotional moments. It reminds me why I've stayed loyal all these years. Even the upcoming farewells, like those for Robert and Leslie, add a poignant touch. Life in Port Charles moves forward, but it honors the past too. Of course, not every fan will agree with me. Some might prefer new stories without revisiting the Cassadines so heavily. But I've seen enough cycles on this show to know that bringing back beloved characters often breathes fresh life into the canvas. The tension with Sidwell being potentially one of them only adds fuel. It could mean internal family battles over the estate, secrets coming to light, and alliances shifting. I'm already imagining confrontations at Windermere, with Laura stepping in as the voice of reason. Will Spencer be the same young man after his time away, or has Victor's influence changed him? These uncertainties make the upcoming episodes feel electric. Trina's journey has been beautiful to watch. She's matured so much, faced loss, and found strength. A Sprinter reunion wouldn't erase her growth. It would enhance it. Kai has served his purpose, but the heart wants what it wants. If the writers listen to the fans calling for this, it could be one of the highlights of the fall season. I've learned over the decades that General Hospital thrives when it gives us hope amid the chaos. As I sit here thinking about all this, my heart feels full. The show has given me decades of entertainment, laughter, tears, and even a few life lessons along the way. The return of Nicholas and Spencer, wrapped up in the larger Cassadine adjustments and Sidwell's mysterious role, promises a season full of surprises. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Will father and son reunite and reclaim their place? How will the town react? These questions keep the excitement alive, and I know I'm not alone in feeling this way. Port Charles has a way of pulling its people back home when the time is right. For the Cassadines, that time seems to be now. I'm optimistic, a little nervous, and thoroughly entertained. Whatever adjustments come with their return, I'm here for every minute of it. This is why we love soap operas, after all, the endless possibilities and the comfort of familiar faces finding their way through new storms. Fall can't come soon enough. Recasting these roles isn't something they do lightly, and I respect that. Nicholas has always been such a complex character, charming yet troubled, carrying the weight of his family's legacy. With the old actor no longer available, bringing in someone new gives the chance to refresh the role while keeping that signature Cassadine intensity. The same goes for Spencer, that fiery young man who's been missing far too long. Those blurry sightings and hints that Victor was caring for him somewhere kept our hopes alive. Now, with Nicholas possibly receiving a pardon and heading out to search for his son, the stage is set for powerful reunions. I wonder how the new faces will capture the father-son bond that made us care so deeply. It might take time to adjust, but I've seen the show succeed with recasts before. They often bring new energy that surprises us all. These adjustments are already stirring new troubles, especially around the Cassadine legacy. The family fortune, the secrets at Windermere, and the power struggles are heating up again. Sidwell's involvement adds another layer of mystery. If he's connected to the Cassadines in some way, as some whispers suggest, it could create serious rifts when Nicholas and Spencer return. I have my own theory that Sidwell might be a distant relative with his own claim on the estate. That kind of twist would force everyone to question loyalties and bloodlines, something this show does better than anyone. It's not just about money or power, it's about survival and the complicated pull of family. I'm excited to see how these tensions explode, particularly as the fall storylines build. The timing feels perfect too. With the Face-On revival plots winding down, we're ready for something centered on core families again. Fans have grown a little weary of those resurrection angles. clever as they were with twists like Britt faking her death and Nathan actually being Cassius. It's time to focus on the Cassadines and their impact on Port Charles. Laura deserves to have her grandsons back, and I can already imagine her joy mixed with worry. What will she make of the new Nicholas and Spencer? Will old grudges resurface, or can healing finally begin? These questions keep me invested, and I believe the show is heading in the right direction. Adding to the excitement, big changes are coming even sooner in July. The returns of Jason, Anna, and possibly Sam are creating new shocks that feel like they're about to set everything on fire. Jason's been away too long, and his comeback always shifts the balance in town. He's got that quiet strength and complicated history that affects so many lives. Pairing his return with Anna's feels electric. She's such a resilient character, and I've always admired how she balances duty with heart. If Sam joins them, it could open up emotional storylines we haven't seen in a while. I wonder what secrets they'll bring back and how they'll collide with the Cassadine adjustments. These July developments are proving that new troubles are truly exploding across the canvas. The show is building momentum, layering one major shift on top of another. I've learned over the years that General Hospital thrives when it mixes big returns with personal reckonings. Will Jason's arrival complicate things for those involved with the Cassadines? Could Anna uncover truths about Sidwell or the family legacy? And Sam, if she returns, might bring her own share of surprises that touch Lulu and others. The possibilities feel endless, and that's what I love most. As a longtime viewer, I appreciate when the show honors its history while moving forward. Recasting Nicholas and Spencer shows they're committed to keeping these iconic roles alive. It might feel different at first, but different can be good. I've seen actors come and go, yet the essence of Port Charles remains. The Cassadine return, tied to these new adjustments and the rising tensions around their diadem, promises rich drama. Sprinta fans have been patient, and, with Kai possibly stepping back, Trina and Spencer could find their way again. Their chemistry was special, the kind that reminded us why we root for young love amid the chaos. Of course, not everything will be smooth. There will likely be farewells too, like those hinted for Robert and Leslie, adding poignant notes to the season. Life in Port Charles always balances joy and sorrow. I find myself thinking about Nicholas possibly reconnecting with Britt and helping bring Rocco back to Lulu. That would be such a heartfelt arc, especially knowing their past. These storylines make me feel connected to the show in a personal way, like catching up with old friends who never stop surprising you.